What is going on, guys? So today I'm going to talk to you about if I wish I joined another branch of the military besides the Army. So the reason I'm doing this video is, number one, I wanted to do this video, and then number two, I get asked this question every single live stream, multiple live streams, all the time. Every live stream I get asked in my DMs on Instagram, I get asked in my DMs on Snapchat, and I've never made an actual video on it, even though I've talked about it a whole bunch of times on my YouTube live streams. And if you miss my YouTube live streams, you gotta just make sure you hit that notification bell button so you actually don't miss my YouTube live streams. But anyways, do I regret joining another branch or joining the Army versus another branch? You know, was there ever a time whenever I wanted to join another branch? Just real simply and real quickly, the answer is no. I did not want to join the Air Force. I did not want to join the Marines. I did not want to join the Navy. I did not want to join any other branch at all. It was always the Army. I always wanted to be involved in the Army in some way, shape, or form, capacity, whatever, right? So whenever I was younger, when I was like 18 years old, I wanted to join. I was going to do Special Forces, active duty. I had that contract and everything. Long story short, my dad convinced me not to join. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on at that time, and I basically got convinced to just not go through with it. Later on in my life, I kind of really still wanted to join the military. Situation came up. I learned about the Army Reserves. I learned I can do my two passions and things that I want to do. Boom, like in a week, I had raised my right hand and I joined the Army Reserves, right? So for me, it was always the Army. I wanted to be in the Army. I wanted to be a soldier in some capacity. Now I know that was super quick and it was pretty much right straight to the point. The answer to the title of this video, whatever I'm going to title it, is no. Like, I did not want to join anything else. But why am I making a video? Like, this isn't going to be like a 1.5 or a 2-minute video. The reason I'm doing this is for all of you out there that were not in my situation, that there is more than one branch that you're interested in doing, and you might be worried, you know, what if I do this branch and then I wish I would have done this branch? What if I do this branch and it was just like, oh, it was a mistake, I should have joined, you know, the Air Force? Because you all know everybody kind of hates on the Air Force, and I always say everybody secretly wishes they joined the Air Force, right? Not the case with me. You know, it was just always the Army. It's just the Army. I'm Army all the way, right? So it was never the case for me, but a lot of people make fun of the Air Force, yet they want to be in the Air Force. They're like, oh, if I had to re-enlist, I would do the Air Force. That's what a lot of people say. And so maybe you're wanting to do something else, and you're thinking that that might be you. So what should I say to you? What is my advice to you, right? So the first thing that you need to look at is try not so hard to kind of compare the branches as a whole. You really need to kind of focus on the job that you want. You really focus on that job and look at another branch that you might be interested in and seeing if they have a job that is similar to that. And then also, can you guarantee that you're going to get that job? Because in the Army, you enlist with a specific MOS. In some other branches, you don't actually get that luxury of like picking a specific MOS. I would say the next thing that you need to look at is kind of like, how much combat are you willing to see, or do you want to see? Do you want to do combat related stuff? Do you want to be outside in the field, you know, on a regular basis, or do you want to be inside in a garrison environment, in an office, you know, doing, you know, not necessarily in an office, but like doing things inside? So you need to ask yourself those two questions. Do you want to be really, you know, infantry? You know, you want to be out in the woods and, you know, your little foxholes and stuff all the time? Or do you want to be inside and, I don't know, working with communications equipment or something like that, which can also be outside sometimes? So you need to look at that. And then you need to look at what kind of other schools and programs and stuff do you want to do in your military career. So if you're just wanting to do the military for just like a couple of years, your first contract, and get out, that kind of is a little bit different, because your odds are you're kind of wanting to join the military for a different purpose than obviously have a career in the military, in which you can have a whole bunch of things that you can do in that 20 years or whatever. So you need to look at, you know, do I want to go to airborne school? Do I want to go to, you know, whatever school? Look at what schools that branch has, and then see if that's something that you want to do. And if it is, then that's great. Also keep in mind that there are, like, all the other branches and stuff in the military do a lot of times go to Army schools, right? So they can go to airborne school and air assault school or whatever. So like if you're in the Marines, the Navy, and the Air Force, you can all go to airborne school, but it is definitely going to be a lot easier for you to get that done if you're in the Army versus if you're in another branch. So you got to keep all these things in mind. The next thing that's kind of important is which branch is going to give you the most, right? Which branch is going to allow you to rank up the fastest, because that's honestly kind of important. the bottom of that one is the Marines, right? The Marines, definitely, it is a well-known thing, or if you didn't know it, the Marines, it's a lot harder to get promoted in the Marines. There's a lot less people moving around up above you. So if somebody who is above you does not retire and get out, then that means you can't get promoted, because there is a specific quota. You can like Google it, of how many in each rank the military needs for that specific rank. And if that's full, then they can't promote people. If it's not full, then they can promote people. So the Marines, it's a little bit harder to get promoted. In the Army, it's a lot easier in some MOSs, so you're gonna have to look at those things and see how the promotions are gonna work with your enlistment. You gotta see, which branch is gonna allow you to enlist at what rank, and what are the different requirements and everything for that. And then you need to look at what kind of benefits you're going to get, because for the most part, you're gonna get similar benefits, but one branch might offer you way more than the other. And then all of this kind of just comes down to your personal preference. You need to look at yourself, look at, what you want to do with your life. Look at what you're good at, what you like doing, and things you don't like doing, and then kind of look at the different branches and see which one aligns the most with you and your personality and everything. But, asking me, which branch of the military should I join, that's one of those questions that I can't answer, because I don't know you guys. I haven't sat down with you for a long period of time and talked to you about all your different life goals and dreams and things like that, and your personality. It's the same thing with, which MOS should I pick? They're all good MOSs. All the jobs in the military are great jobs. They're, they're wonderful, and they're important key jobs to some part of the military. You can't have this one specific, job just taken away and have that not affect the rest of the military. So that's something to remember, that basically every single job is important and every single branch is important. So it all comes down to your personal preferences, and if it helps you guys, write out a little pros and cons, which branch, if you want to go Army versus Marines. That's something a lot of people ask me, especially Marine infantry versus Army infantry. Write it on a piece of paper. Marines, Army, whatever your MOS is, look up what you can find, pros and cons, the different benefits that you can get from those two different things, personal experiences that you can find from friends and family and just people on like Facebook or something. So use all your resources you can get, and then try to make the best decision you can make. And at some point in time, if you do figure out that, oh man, I wish I would have joined the other branch of the military, like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that, then if you do want to stay in for another period in the military, you can switch branches. If you enlist in the Army, that doesn't mean that obviously for your first contract, you have to be in the Army. But it doesn't mean that after your 4 years is over, it does not mean that you can't switch to the Marines. It doesn't mean that you can't switch to the Air Force. It doesn't mean you can't switch to the Navy, and likewise for all the other different branches. Now, it makes a little bit of a difference if you're switching from Navy to Army, Air Force to Army, or yeah, that's basically it. Because like if you're going Marines to Army, you don't have to go to basic training again. If you're going like Army or Marines to the Air Force, you don't have to go to basic training. But if you go like from Navy or Air Force to Army, that means you got to redo basic training, because in those basics and stuff, they don't really have all that combat infantry tactics related stuff as the Marines and the Army has, so you kind of have to redo that. So that is it for this video. That is, do I wish I joined another branch? The answer is no, but I also wanted to help you guys out with my thoughts on if you are struggling to pick a different branch, or you're trying to pick between a couple different branches. Maybe this video helped you out just a little bit. And if it did, hit that like button. That'd be awesome. If you want to check out some more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. That would be even better. If you are not, follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. That would be freaking amazing. I'm so close to 10,000 followers on Instagram, and I can have that swipe up feature on my story. That would be a great Christmas present. I'm just saying, guys, follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. If you haven't already, hit the notification bell button. And yep, that's it. I hope you guys have an amazing freaking day, and I will see you later.